So let's start po for chapter 1, which is Introduction to Engineering Economy. So makikita naman po yung aking naka-share screen. Okay po. So, your engineering economy. So, bakit natin kailangan aralin yung engineering economics if we are an engineer? Ano? So, here in engineering economy, marirelate siya sa ating future jobs. Ano? So, you are an engineer, so you design machines. Tama po. So, if you design a machine, hindi lang naman po ang itatanong sa inyo ng management or your bosses is kung nagana ba yun. So, your bosses will be asking kung ang ilalaan nating pera doon is worth it ba yung cost nun na pagkagastusan ng pera ng company. So, our learning objective for this chapter, so by the end of this chapter, the student will be able to define engineering economy and explain its role in professional practice, and then analyze the 7 fundamental principles of engineering economy, and then integrate economic analysis steps into standard engineering design process, and then differentiate between various cost categories such as fixed variable, sunk cost, opportunity cost, and life cycle cost. And then lastly, apply cost concept to solve basic economic break-even and optimization problems. So let's start by defining what is an engineering economy is. So it involves the formulation, estimation, and evaluation of economic outcomes and alternatives to accomplish a defined purpose are available. So it is essentially a collection of mathematical techniques that simplify comparison between distinct engineering choices. So for this one, ang ating engineering economy, as what I have said kanina, so it deals with the comparison of your design. So for example, you are solving a certain problem or you are designing for a project. So you are assigned to have a different options for that specific project. So paano tayo makakapamili from the option na binibigay? So merong different aspect or criteria and factors na para mapagpilian natin or mapagdesisyonan natin kung alin yung pipiliin natin from the option A or option B. And then we have the concept of equivalence. So, for the concept of equivalence, this concept helps engineers understand how different sums of money at different times can be equal in economic terms. So, this is important concept for the entire course. So, this is the concept of equivalence. So, for example, we have 1,000 pesos today is not equivalent to 1,000 pesos 5 years from now without considering the interest. So, example niyan is halimbawa, so yung mga nabibili natin from the past, yung worth 1K natin. So for example, nakakabili tayo ng 1 week worth of grocery. So sa palagay ninyo, by this time, ano na kaya yung mabibili ng 1K mo? Ng 1,000 pesos mo? So most probably, mabibili mo is 2 days worth ng pagkain na lang or pambaon mo na lang siya for a day kung gagala ka. So, they are not equal in terms of the value na nabibigay niya sa atin. So, that means hindi natin pwedeng ipag-compare yung 1,000 to 1,000. So, we need to consider different aspect like interest, inflation. Then, we have the 7 fundamental principles to guide our decisions. So, here are yung first one natin. Principle number one is to develop the alternatives. So the choice is among alternatives. So the alternatives need to be identified and then defined for subsequent analysis. A decision cannot be made if there are no options to choose from. Note, doing nothing is also a valid alternative. So you can't make a decision if you have no option. So you must remember also, so doing nothing is always a valid option. Minsan, siya pa yung best engineering move. So, minsan, ang solution is not to build a factory, but to change the system only. So, pag ang iniba natin is yung other aspect, so mas makakamura tayo doon kaysa mag-build pa tayo ng panibagong machine, yung mga ganong aspect, yung kailangan nating tingnan. And then your principle number two is to focus on the differences. So only the differences in expected future outcomes among alternatives are relevant to their comparison and should be considered in the design if two machines cost the same to maintain. That means maintenance cost is irrelevant to the choice between them. So if you're choosing between halimbawa, bibili kayo ng sasakyan, Ford or Toyota man yan. So, syempre kasali na dun yung insurance nga. So, halimbawa, they have the same cost na insurance, neglect na natin yun. Kung tayo ay hindi makapag-decide sa Ford o Toyota yung ating pagpipilian. So, there are many aspect naman na pwede nating i-consider. Like yung kung mas makakatipid ba tayo sa gasolina if we choose the other one compared to other. And then, we have yung ating principle number three. So, use a consistent viewpoint. So, the prospective outcomes of the alternatives, economic and other, so should be consistently developed from a defined viewpoint. So usually that of the investor, the company, or the public agency. So for this one, so are you deciding for yourself, for the company, or for the customer? So you must pick one perspective and stick to it. So mostly, if you are in the company and deciding for the company, so your perspective is on the company side. So the principle number four is the common unit of measure using a common unit of measurement. So to enumerate as many of the prospective outcomes as possible will simplify the analysis of alternatives. This unit is usually currency such as Philippine peso or US dollar. So don't compare two things na hindi magkaparehas. So we need to convert everything, every factors to money. So for example, if you are in the Philippine market, you are using Philippine peso, and if your company is based on the international company, so that is you will be using US dollar. So next one is the principle number five, which is we need to consider all relevant criteria. So selection of preferred alternative requires the use of criterion. So the design process should consider both monetary and non-monetary factors. So these non-monetary factors such as safety, environmental impact, or brand reputation. So yung factors natin or criteria natin is hindi naman lahat nasusukat sa money. So we are always and also considering yung non-monetary factors natin. So most company they are opt to have a safety first when designing a machine. So you must design the machine as safely as possible and then so ano na lang kung saan sila magtitipid. Sometimes sa materials sila nagtitipid or iniiba nila yung materials ng machine para mas makamura sila or ibang design yung gagawin nila. Yung mga ganong aspect, yung pinaglalaroan when it comes to the decision. So, for principle number 6, so this is make risk and uncertainty explicit. Risk and uncertainty are inherent in estimating the future outcomes of the alternatives and should be recognized in their analysis and comparison. Future cash flow are rarely deterministic. So, paano natin sabi na make risk explicit? So, the future is never certain. So, you never know what comes ahead of the market. Kung siya ay tataas ba or bababa yung market. So, our math should reflect that uncertainty. So, we don't just say it will cost 100 pesos, but we must include yung allowance ba. So, it should be between 90 to 110. So, principle number 7 is to revisit your decision. So, improve decision making results from an adaptive process. So, to the extent practical, the initial projected outcomes of the selected alternative should be subsequently compared with the actual results achieved. So, after the project is done, so you need to look back yung mga factors na uh, sinaalang-alang ninyo when making the decision. So, did we get it right, yung mga decision natin? And this feedback makes you a better engineer in the future for your next project po. So, next one, we have the engineering, economics, and the design process. So for this one, so engineering economic analysis and your engineering design process mirror each other. So let me have yung step number 1 natin or activity number 1 for the engineering design process. So this is problem or need definition. Then number 2 is problem need formulation and evaluation. Then 3 is synthesis of possible solution or alternatives. And then 4 is analysis, optimization, and evaluation. And then 5 is specification of preferred alternative. And then 6 is communication. So for that, yung number 1 natin sa engineering design analysis is also the number 1 on your engineering economic analysis procedure, which is the problem recognition, definition, and evaluation. So, for this one, yung 1 and 2 natin is step 1 for your economic analysis procedure. So, yung step 2 natin sa engineering economic analysis is your step 3 in engineering design analysis. So, that is development of feasible alternatives. And then yung number 3, siya yung naiiba between the two, which is yung development of outcomes and cash flow for each alternative. So, di ba meron na tayong options or alternatives na nagawa. So, we were going to make yung possible outcomes ng mga factors na nilist natin and then yung cash flow or equivalent money niya to make a decision. Then, 4 is selection of a criterion or criteria. So, what are we are focusing? So, ano yung gusto ng company na mag-focus tayo sa ganong factor? yung number one natin na criteria, and then up to the last. And then, number five is the analysis and comparison of alternatives. So, after we are yung na-select na natin yung criteria niya, so we are comparing naman yung mga options natin or alternatives to make a decision. So, for number six is selection of preferred alternative. So, we are deciding or picking na yung ating alternative. So, number seven, performance monitoring and post evaluation of result. So, for engineering design analysis, that is your communication. So, in performance monitoring and post evaluation result, siya din yung principle number seven natin. Ano? So, that means we must evaluate our decision if we are right. So, next one. So, isa-isahin natin tong engineering economic analysis natin. So, number one is problem definition. So, the first and most, wait lang po. So, let's continue po. So, the first one is problem definition. So, the first and most critical step is defining the problem. So, a problem exists when a decision maker is dissatisfied with the status quo and seeks improvement. So, a well defined problem statement should be broad enough to allow for creative solution but is specific enough to focus the analysis. So, we are not only hindi natin tinitingnan yung isang problema as it is. So, we need to buksan natin yung mata natin to be able to identify what is the root cause of the problem. So, for that, let us let's have an example. So, if we have a problem, so, halimbawa, I need a bridge. So, you might miss na kailangan pala natin ng tunnel or ferry, yung other option natin. So, sometimes yung other option is a better solution to the real problem. So, what is the real problem? Causing a crossing the river. Yun yung root cause. Yun yung mismong problema natin. That's the root problem. So, we must first identify what is the root problem to be able to have a better solution. We do not need a solution based problem. So, let's identify yung problem natin sa example na to. So, defining the problem and developing alternative. So, the leadership team of a mid-sized organic farm is facing pressure to improve cash flow in order to qualify for government subsidies aimed at sustainable agriculture. Then, one proposed a solution is to convert your unsold produce into a packaged frozen goods instead of selling them at a steep discount to local market. So, define natin yung problem natin. So, anyone who can define the problem, so sa chat box na lang po ninyo, ilagay yung inyong statement, yung ating problem statement. So anyone, ano yung paano natin i-define yung problem? So ano yung mismong problema natin dito sa scenario na 'to? Pakalagay na lang po sa chat box ang inyong answer kung ano yung problem natin. How will you define or state the problem? Wait lang po. Ayan. So sorry po ano, sa abala. So tama po kayo na nilagay sa chat. So too much unsold product cuts off profit. Is just the same with so the problem is to reduce waste while increasing profitability. So the farm problems problem appears to be that perishable inventory is leading to a revenue loss, which is yung pagkalugi natin, and unstable cash flow. So several reformulation can be posed as the problem is to reduce waste while increasing profitability. The problem is to stabilize cash flow despite seasonal fluctuation. And then the problem is inefficient distribution channels that fail to maximize value from produce. So, why are we reformulating yung ating problem? So, in that way, yung perspective natin is naiiba. So, in that, makakaisip tayo ng other alternatives dun sa ating problem. So, mamaya na yung solution. So, let's first have yung ating step number 2, which is developing investment alternatives. So once the problem is defined, the engineer must identify feasible solution. So these are the alternatives. So the standard alternative is the do nothing alternative must always be out they be considered as as a baseline alternative. So for this one, so once we know the problem, so we must list the alternatives. So you need a feasible solution. Bakit? So malamang sa malamang, if hindi yan feasible, hindi naman yan ma-approve by the organization or company na pinagtatrabahuhan ninyo. So I'll repeat, sa do nothing alternative is a baseline for your alternative. So we always calculate what happen if you keep the current system running. So kaya siya baseline ng ating pag-create ng ating alternative. So for that, we can so pwede nating balikan yung problem kanina. So these are the formulated alternatives. So based only on the reformulation one, an alternative is to invest in small scale processing equipment to convert unsold produce into frozen or dried goods for sale at premium prices. So this alternative is costly since kailangan mong gumawa o bumili ng equipment pa. So itong option 1 is pinaka unlikely na mapili. So we have another alternative is to partner with local restaurant and food delivery services to create farm to table uh, subscription boxes. Yet another alternative is to diversify into agritourism, offering farm tours, workshop, and events that generate additional income while reducing reliance on subsidies. So yung option 2 natin which is yung makikipag-partner tayo sa ating local restaurant and food delivery will create another form of income or cash flow and then reducing ating unsold produce. And then for last option natin, which is yung agritourism. So, example yun is yung mga strawberry farm, yung strawberry farm picking. We offer farm tours and then workshop or events that will make us more money or more cash flow for us. Solving yung ating problem. So, number 3 is the development of prospective outcome. So, for each alternative, the engineer must estimate the future consequences in engineering economy that are usually monetary cash flow. So, that is cost and revenue. So, cash flow estimation. So, in cash flow estimation, this involves predicting the initial investment, annual operating cost, and maintenance and salvage value at the end of the project's life. So, dito, sa umpisa ng ating project, syempre magkakaroon ng initial investment. So, wala pang kinikita si company doon, naglalabas lang siya ng pera. And then, on annual operating cost, syempre where we are using the machine, nagkakaroon niya ng operating cost. So, halimbawa yung machine niyo is kailangan patakbuhin siya ng or gamitin siya ng tao. So, yung sweldo nun, yun yung annual operating cost. And then, we have maintenance. So, as you all know, ang isang machine is kailangan lagi ng maintenance. So, meron yung quarterly, meron yung yearly maintenance, or pag nasira siya, kailangan siyang gawin. And then, your salvage value. So, what is a salvage value? So, if tapos nang gamitin ni company yung machine ninyo, or hindi na siya kailangan sa project na to, kailangan na siyang ibenta para mabalik din yung ininvest na pera sa atin. So, your salvage value is yung pinaka mababang value or pinakamababang price niya pag pinagbili natin siya in the market. So, non-monetary outcomes natin is yung safety, environmental impact, and public perception must also documented. So, on this one, kung ano yung mga hinihingi ni company, kung safety yan or environmental impact, we must always consider those non-monetary outcomes. So for number 4 or step number 4, we have selection of decision criteria. So when making a decision, you must consider all important factors. So that is your principle number 5, discussed kanina. So the goal is to pick the option that will benefit the organization's owners in the long run. So the decision should be made from a clear and consistent viewpoint. Kung ano man yung viewpoint na yan, kung kanino mang viewpoint yan. If it is in company, company's viewpoint. So that is discussed on your principle number 3. And then this viewpoint must stay the same throughout the study. And then on economic criteria, ano yung focus natin? If it is in minimize cost, maximize net present value, and then maximize rate of return. So for example, if the goal is profit, so the criterion is to select the alternative with the highest net present value. So kung minimize cost yung ating pagpipilian, we must always consider those criteria. So number 5 is analysis and comparison of alternatives. So this step involves the mathematical calculation using the time value of money. The cash flows of each alternative are considered into a comparable format. Example, your present worth or annual worth. So example, yung example ko kanina, kailangan nating i-convert yung ating pera from present into future considering yung ating interest. So this were actually the the money na i-consider nila ilalabas to be able to finish your project. So sila is pag nasa company na kayo, they are tedious with this one. Sobrang higpit nila when it comes to costing. Diyan at diyan kayo uh, matatanong at matatanong sa mga costing. So selection of the preferred alternative. So based on the analysis, the engineer recommends the best option. So the rule is to choose the alternative that best meets the decision. If we have an alternative A has an NPV or profit of 50,000 and B has 40,000, so malamang sa malamang ang pipiliin ng company is your alternative A kasi mas kikita sila doon. So for step number 7, this is also in principle number 7. So the performance monitoring and evaluation results. So after implementing, the actual results must be monitored. This feedback loop helps improve future decision making by comparing actual cost benefits against the initial estimates. So, we don't just walk away or hindi natin iniiwan yung project natin agad-agad. So, we need to monitor, did the machine or yung project natin saves us money, yung mga ganong factors na kinonsider natin when deciding. And then, if the machine is worth it. So, this feedback loop is critical para na yun sa atin. So, it tells you if your estimates were accurate. So, and it helps you as an engineer for your future project. So, let's have a scenario where a friend of yours, it is an application po ng engineering economic analysis and procedure. So, a friend of yours bought a small apartment building for $100,000 in a college town. So she spent $10,000 of her own money for building and obtained a mortgage from a local bank for remaining $90,000. The annual mortgage payment to the bank is 10,500. So your friend also expects that annual maintenance on the building and ground will be $15,000. So there are 4 apartments in the building. So that can each be rented for 360 per month. So we have questions for these scenarios. So the first one, does your friend have a problem? If so, what is it? Ano yung problem ng ating friend sa ating scenario? And then what are her alternatives? So identify natin at least three option para makapamili tayo doon. So next one is estimate the economic consequences and other required data alternatives. And then B, select a criterion for discriminating among alternatives and use it to advise your friend on which course of action to pursue. And then and then the other one is attempt to analyze and compare the alternatives in view of at least one criterion in addition to cost. Then lastly, what should your friend do based on your information and she have generated? So, ano yung ating first step sa ating engineering economic analysis procedure? It is to define the problem. Meron nga bang problema? Mamaya, wala pala talagang problema. Nag-iisip lang tayo masyado. Ano? So, this one, makakalculate natin kung may problema ba talaga. So, from the statement, we have an annual mortgage payment of 10,500. And then your annual maintenance is $15,000. And then the annual expenses or yung total ng inyong expenses annually is $25,500. And then what she is receiving or yung natatanggap niya. So, if annual yung compute natin from your expenses, so dapat yung mga income natin, if then. So, it's stated on the problem, rent per apartment is $360 per month. And then we have four apartments. So, to compute your annual rental income, so we have $360 per month times 12 to make it annual. And then times 4 kasi meron tayong 4 apartments. So your total income would be $17,280. So if she's spending 25,500 but only earning 17,280, nawawalan siya ng pera na or nalulugi siya by 8,220 per year. So the problem is clear. Her rental income is not covering her expenses. So, mas malaki yung ginagastos niya kaysa kinikita niya. So, it is a business. So, dapat kumikita siya. Yun yung problema natin. Hindi siya kumikita. So, ano yung step 2 natin sa ating engineering economic analysis? So, our step 2 is developing alternatives. So, here are four options for you. So we have your option 1 is to raise the rent. So increase monthly rent to cover expenses. And then option 2 is lower maintenance expenses, cut down on non-kit, but carefully to maintain the safety and satisfaction ng ating tenant. And then for option 3, we have sell the apartment building, recover investment, and stop the losses. Then for option number 4, abandon the building or walk away. But this also damages your reputation or credit since nagbabayad ka ng utang sa bangko. So, for your remaining time, answer yung other questions natin dito. Yung from C to F. So, we are using yung ating engineering economic analysis to make you a decision. So, I will be asking you kung ano yung answer ninyo sa ating next meeting. So, any question po? Nakuha niyo po ba yung problem? And I will be posting naman po yung ano na to para may guideline kayo. So, if wala pong question, thank you po for attending our class. Have a nice day po. You can leave na po our meeting.
Thank you po, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you po, ma'am.
Thank you po, ma'am.